From our childhood and into our senior years, one thing remains constant in our lives: our mums. And for generations, they have known of a safe place that cares for them and their hopes and their dreams.
The Women's and Children's Hospital stood by me.
We may not all know it right now, but sooner or later, every one of us will be close to someone who needs the care of the Women's and Children's Hospital.
They inspired me to want to help people too.
It's a place where dedicated people bring the wonder of life a step closer to the world.
They gave me hope that I had a future.
Where caring people put their patients first, come what may.
Every person there will give whatever they possibly can.
How can we ensure that this iconic hospital remains a village of hope for all South Australian mums and kids?
I was given a second chance. Now I have a chance to give back.
Who will be there to support the wonderful people who are there for us each and every day? You.
Hello everybody and welcome to the 2017 TeamKids Easter Appeal, thanks to Telstra and Westpac.
We're coming to you from the Telstra Contact Centre across South Australia on the 9 network.
We have 4 hours of amazing stories, fun and entertainment ahead of us, and we invite you to help us raise money for TeamKids and the Women's and Children's Hospital Foundation.
You're going to meet some people whose stories will move you, perhaps amaze you and hopefully inspire you.
And we're going to have the opportunity to meet some of our fundraising champions who have come up with some incredible ways to help us raise money.
And coming up, the first heat of the fantastic Fire Truck Pull Challenge. Plus, Tara performed some of her favourite songs for us.
I'm really looking forward to it. So let's get started. Here's Jordan to introduce our first story.
Hello. Although we're yet to fully understand the unbelievably cute Layla's condition, her story shows us the many facets of care that the Women's and Children's Hospital provides. From inpatient services to ongoing therapies, home equipment, and even training for parents, TeamKids in the hospital are always right there when they're needed.
That's it, nice and loose. That's it.
Layla has a lot of things that she likes. Swimming is definitely one of them.
Layla, you cheeky girl.
She would probably spend all day in the pool if we had one for starters, but if we let her. She does hydrotherapy, which really allows her to relax and stretch those muscles and all those things that she cannot do on land. Layla was born November 24th, 2011. I had a completely normal pregnancy. When she was born, doctors started to notice some abnormal signs with her, like a little bit of extra tightness in her muscles and slight breathing difficulties. A few hours later, a paediatrician came to me and sort of explained that Layla had some quite significant brain abnormalities. He sort of expected Layla to be quite significantly disabled and also with a quite short life expectancy, 3, maybe 12 months. That newborn excited sort of phase quickly went away, and I couldn't quite understand why they thought something was so wrong with her when she just looked so normal. We were transferred to Women's and Children's Hospital and we just went through test after test to try and kind of find a cause for whatever was going on with Layla. All the tests came back normal. There was nothing that showed any cause for her condition. So we took her home. We didn't really know what to do, but we just did what we had to do, I guess. We just try to make things happy and as normal as they could be. It was a completely different normal than what we were expecting. Layla had airway spasms, so they would close off and she could not breathe. We had a lot of scary episodes where Layla had stopped breathing and required CPR. And at those times, I did think, you know, this is it. And no matter how much doctors prepare you for it, you are not prepared for having to resuscitate your own child. And but after all those scary times that Layla had, she definitely showed us how strong she was. Hospital does come to us. Through the Women's and Children's Home Equipment Centre, we receive feeding equipment for Layla. We also get home oxygen, which helps with her breathing episodes. We also have a BiPAP machine, which Layla uses overnight to help with her quite severe sleep apnea. Without those things, life would be a lot harder, a lot more stressful, and who knows where we would have been without it.
Hello.
Finn was our little surprise bundle. We had no plans to expand our family until we had a firm diagnosis for Layla. I was really scared when I found out I was pregnant again, but he was perfect.
Hello, Finn. Hello, Layla. Ouch.
It was great. It was nice to experience normal.
3, 4.
Layla is a very happy little girl. Despite everything that she goes through,
Oh, Rex.
she's very strong. She's very cheeky. She's funny.
Have you got his stories?
She's definitely here for a reason. She's not here to be successful in a career, or she's not here to have her own family. I think she's here for bigger things than that. She's definitely making us all better people.
The Women's and Children's Hospital Foundation needs your help. Go to teamkidseasterappeal.org.au.
Hi, I'm Jessica Van Pelt and I'm in Year 12 at high school. 12 years ago, the people at the Women's and Children's Hospital kept me going. I had cancer when I was just 4.5. At the Women's and Children's Hospital, I was given a second chance. Now, I have a chance to give back. So please, support the TeamKids Easter Appeal.
Nick Bakakis is chairman of several South Australian boards, but for us, his most important role is chair of the Women's and Children's Hospital Foundation. Also on the board is Bronwyn Gwynn Jones. She heads up the Marketing and Fundraising Committee. Here they both are to talk with Tara about how the TeamKids Easter Appeal raises vital funds for the hospital.
Hi Nick and Bronwyn, thank you for joining us today. Nick, the foundation has a long-standing relationship with the hospital. Tell us about that.
We have decades worth of relationships, not only with the hospital, but also with the South Australian community that supports us. Without the community's trust and support, we're not able to raise funds to be able to put to work at the hospital to actually be able to make a difference.
Tell us about TeamKids and its relationship with the foundation.
Okay, so TeamKids is the fundraising arm of the Women's and Children's Hospital Foundation, and it's all about the support that we are able to provide to the hospital. And in order to provide that support, we work very closely with the community, individuals and groups, to raise the very much needed funds.
Nick, the foundation often benefits from bequests and major gifts. How does that work?
When people have a desire to support a particular research project for a particular medical condition, then they ensure that in their wills that the monies that they wish to come to us are made available to us. The foundation ensures that the monies that the people entrust us with are looked after in perpetuity for only the purposes for which they want it to be done.
Bronwyn, what are the key projects being supported by TeamKids through the Easter Appeal this year?
The first one is the TeamKids Beach House, and it's actually the building of a holiday facility for seriously unwell children and their families. And it's about giving the opportunity to children and their families to have a holiday away from home and to create very special memories at a particularly difficult time in life.
And the other project that we're supporting hopefully will give us the opportunity to be able to find a treatment for childhood cancer in our lifetime.
Wow, this is all such great work. Thank you, Nick and Bronwyn, for joining us today.
Thanks, Tara.
Cystic fibrosis is a genetic condition predominantly affecting the lungs, creating chronic breathing problems for sufferers. There is currently no cure. That's a fact that Melissa Haynes deals with every day, organising her life with a courageous and inspirational outlook. We spent one such day with her.
Cystic fibrosis is a disease which affects the lungs and digestive system. My lungs are producing a lot of mucus, so that's all stuck in there, and it blocks the airways, so a lot of the time I'm quite short of breath.
Cystic fibrosis is one of those illnesses that's not, I don't think it has enough airtime. A lot of people still don't know what it is, even though it's the most common genetic illness in Australia.
We made the decision to move from the UK to Australia, to Adelaide where I'm from, to enable a better level of healthcare for James, because he'd been diagnosed with cystic fibrosis.
There was an incident where I honestly thought that we would lose him. Once you see your child clawing at people's faces with that look of distress because he actually just cannot get enough air, it is such a horrendous experience.
I was diagnosed at 6 months old. The doctors actually did tell my parents that I wouldn't make it into my teenage years. Lucky for myself, I've been able to maintain my health and sort of, live into adulthood, which is, quite an achievement.
It's a life-shortening illness. The prognosis isn't great. At the moment, they typically, on average, don't survive beyond 37 years of age. So when Emma was diagnosed, she was 3 weeks of age, and that's when we started our regime at the hospital with outpatients appointments every 4 to 6 weeks. So it's been our normal for a really long time.
When your child goes into hospital, it's almost like life stops. There's this world within the hospital and there's the world outside. The Women's and Children's have broken down those barriers. They help people and families who are dealing with sick kids to feel life is normal. It's hard to have a sick child. There's always a degree of stress over what's going to happen. And at least at the Women's and Children's, they've made it a home from home.
Probably had in excess of 40 admissions. All the admissions are at least 2 weeks, if not 3. Couldn't calculate in my head right now the amount of time we've spent there over the years, but I know that last year alone we spent 5 months in total. They're a special bunch of people.
The nurses are very kind to you and in there. The play therapist Alex is very, very nice.
She's like your best friend in there.
Yes. Who wants to share this big cake?
Ultimately, my wish is that they find a cure and, you know, hopefully in time for her to still enjoy the rest of her life. Research definitely is the key, and time is a very important factor, and money is a very important factor.
There's the saying that it takes a village to raise a child, well, it takes an entire city to raise a sick one.
The more fundraising, the greatest chance that people are going to have to live longer, because there's going to be research done, and new medications will be developed, and potentially a cure will be found. So there's currently 3,000 CF patients in Australia, so that's 3,000 lives that can be saved.
I just want to say that the second there's a cure, I'll be first in line.
One day I would like to say I used to have cystic fibrosis. To be cured from this disease would mean that I don't have an expiry date as such. I can, live till I'm old, and that, I guess, would be, everything at the end of the day.
TeamKids needs your help. Call this number 1800 336 334.
My name's Linda Torbett and I'm a play therapist at the Women's and Children's Hospital on Kate Hill Ward. Typical day for me is gather the children up, get them in the playroom, doing all the fun stuff, arts and craft, lots of distraction, and then in the afternoons I go around and visit the patients that can't come to the playroom. Anything we can do to make their day. A lot of fun, from playing with the toys, dramatic play, to arts and craft, painting. I love my job. It's just such a rewarding job, making positive impacts on patients' lives. I love it. I love it. That's what my job's all about. That's what I want. I want the kids to come to the playroom to see me and have such a fun day and make their hospital stay a lot more positive. That's what makes me come to work every day. Please make a donation to the TeamKids Easter Appeal.
Every animal has a story to tell. And at the hospital, some very special dogs could tell you about how they are helping to make sick kids feel better about their time in hospital. Recently, animal-assisted therapy was introduced as a new program with huge success. Here's Vicky Bruce to tell us all about it.
Animal-assisted therapy started at the Women's and Children's Hospital about 6 months ago, and it's been a very exciting development. Sit. Drop. Good girl. I work with the Paediatric Rehabilitation Department, and we're a team of doctors, nurses, physios, occupational therapists, speech therapists that work to look after children that have had the misfortune of having a sort of fairly catastrophic injury or illness.
Chet's got a condition which is a very rare condition. It's called Sturge-Weber syndrome. It's characterised by the birthmark that he has, which covers one eye. His was probably textbook Sturge-Weber. The syndrome is vascular, so the birthmark represents the enlarged blood vessels that are under the skin. He's got quite a significant vision impairment in one eye and he's had, I think, 3 surgeries so far. When he got to 13 months of age, he had his first seizure. One of the issues, I guess, with his syndrome is his seizures don't stop by themselves. We have to have emergency medication and have an ambulance on the way as soon as he starts having a seizure. Recently he had an episode where he was playing upstairs and we found him lying on his side and he had had a seizure, a little bit like he's had a stroke. When I turned him over, he was quite paralysed on one side and his face was drooping. We got to the hospital and he very quickly deteriorated and had to be put into a coma state to stop that seizure. Never ever want to repeat that experience again. It was awful. You wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. You'd never want anyone to have to go through that. You're in limbo and you don't know which way you're going and you don't know if he's getting better, you don't know if he's getting worse. He'd been asleep for probably about 7 days or so. By the time he woke up, he wasn't able to move. After he'd been in bed for about 3 weeks, we then had the issue of the fact that he was completely paralysed. It's been a huge road back. He started having a lot of intensive physiotherapy, and that was the animal pet therapy as well as speech pathology, occupational therapy and physiotherapy. The team at the Women's and Children's, again, were absolutely amazing. They're fabulous, engaging children because Jet was quite frustrated and quite angry and quite upset, and yet they were very, very understanding.
Nice big throw.
In physiotherapy or occupational therapy, we'd be attempting to get him to throw a ball or do something and he'd just flatly refuse pretty much. But when the dog was there, he was incredibly motivated.
Jet's working on a lot of different skills all at the same time while playing with Harper. Down. Oh, well done, you're getting good at that. He used his fine motor skills when he was getting Harper's leash on and off. He uses his voice to play with Harper and instruct her what to do and have lots of fun. And of course, walking and running on this uneven ground is a lot of hard work.
As long as she's having fun, I'm having fun.
The success that we're seeing at the moment with animal-assisted therapy is phenomenal. Children are getting out of hospital sooner. They're not realising that they're having as much therapy, they're having fun doing it, and TeamKids have been excellent. I mean, we couldn't do it without TeamKids. And we would love to see this develop and expand.
She got it!
Jet's been through so much. He's an amazing kid. You know, twice he's had to get up and relearn to walk. There was a huge level of frustration, yet that was, I think, one of the things that made the pet therapy so successful, because when the dog was there, all the negative things that he's had to put up with, all of a sudden you've got this dog that's just looking up at you with a big smile on its face virtually, and it was incredibly motivating for him. And he really, really loved it.
Our Women's and Children's Hospital is a place where generations of South Australians and their hopes and dreams have been born. A place of comfort and care in both good and bad times. Please donate by ringing this number right now.
My name's Josh Schwartz and I have cancer. It's been a part of my life since I was 10. I had to grow up really fast and learn to live in the now. But because of places like the Women's and Children's Hospital, I was given a second chance. So now I have a chance to give back. So please, support the TeamKids Easter Appeal.
Westpac chooses very carefully who it wants to partner with, and we've made a choice to partner with TeamKids here in Adelaide in South Australia as our chosen charity that we want to work with. This is a great opportunity working with an organisation like the Women and Children's Hospital, where two great organisations come together with a tradition of helping communities. Westpac's philosophy in helping and working with local charities is really about helping them to prosper and grow, and being very active in the communities in which we are represented. What we see in TeamKids is a charity that really is focused on making a difference for children, not only saving lives but improving their lives. And for us in Westpac, that really aligns to our values of trying to make a difference in communities. One of the things that really touched me personally was meeting with Jenna and Karen and listening to their story. It's an unbelievable story. It's one that touches everybody and makes you realise just how important charities like TeamKids and the Women and Children's Hospital are. They're there when people really need them. They're there to save lives, but they're also there to make a difference to children who really need that help and support in the future. I think the Women and Children's Hospital is iconic. All our staff at Westpac really do understand the great work that they do. And of course, many have had interactions through either their family or extended family or somebody they know. One of the things that Westpac is very good at is that it does offer what we call dollar for dollar funding. So where our staff are actively involved, as they will be for raising money for TeamKids, the bank will also match the funding on a dollar for dollar basis. And that really is a great engager for our teams and is a brilliant way that staff can make a material difference in raising funds that we know will go to excellent use by TeamKids and the Women and Children's Hospital.
Sandra Evans' daughter, Talia, was 4 when diagnosed with leukemia. Her life and that of everyone in the family changed dramatically as they came to grips with life after diagnosis. Sandra has captured those times in a wonderful book called 8 Seasons, an inspiring and honest story about Talia's strength and courage.
We were a fairly average family of 4 with 2 little ones, and pretty hectic existence. 2 parents who were working and 2 children in care and almost off to school. Talia was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia at age 4, and our lives changed fairly significantly from that point. Talia and I actually relocated from our family home up to Brisbane because that's where the closest treatment place was for her. Very early on, when you enter into a cancer ward with a child, one of the first things that makes you very vulnerable is you lose all control. The initial thought in writing the book is, how could I normalise a pretty abnormal situation? Some of those situations were quite horrendous and quite frightening, and I think I started to write it. It was quite cathartic for me to get that down on paper and get it out, and it was a way to contain, I think, some really frightening emotions as a mum.
I think it's good because it helped other families with other children with not just leukemia but just cancer in general. It helped them realise that others have walked down the same path, but people like us, we made it through. So I think it gives hope.
Talia was quite articulate for a 4 and 5-year-old. I used to scribe for her. She could quite poignantly describe some of the medication that she was on and how much she didn't like it. So yeah, we included those in the book, and we also included a chapter from Talia's dad, Randall, because I didn't realise at the time that he had a very different perspective.
From a dad's perspective, it is always hard because you want to be at the hospital every day. You want to be able to support both your child as well as your partner. But unfortunately, the realities of life are that Lauren was young and needed support of obviously one of her parents to be with her. Yeah. Also, the realities of requiring an income to pay mortgages and run vehicles and do all those things as well. So I guess you just support the best that you can.
I guess as parents too, you try very hard to shield your child from the worry and from the fear and the vulnerability that you feel on a daily basis. Talia has dealt with some side effects of her treatment, some learning and attentional problems that come with some of the really lovely chemotherapy drugs that we have to give children at that point. So it's still been challenging.
I still see my oncologist once a year, but other than that, I'm pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
The significance of 8 seasons, the title of 8 seasons, is leukemia is 2 years in length. So for us, that was 8 seasons, and it was kind of really poignant for me because living away from my family, I kind of marked our progress in some sense. Walking to the hospital, we would walk through various seasons.
Yeah.
So sometimes Talia would be really hot in her pram, and then, after that she would have beanies and rugs, and it was like we did that kind of season after season, and it was like that was my marker for once we've got through 8 seasons, we're done. And we got there.
Yes,
we did.
8 Seasons is Sandra's book. Every copy sold means a donation of $15 to the TeamKids Easter Appeal, so please get your copy soon.
I'm Liz Britton. I'm the Manager for Volunteers for the Women's and Children's Health Network. I always call our volunteers ambassadors of kindness. I think I've got the best job in the hospital because I get to work with wonderful people who want to give their time and experience and skills to help other people. It's a great day when I get to interview new volunteers who are really excited about being part of this organisation, and what gets me to work every day is knowing that they're doing what they love. They get rewarded in ways that they never expected, and families are being helped. It is like a community here right at the hospital. Everyone here is here to help. They need your support, so dig deep, guys.
You know, I've been involved in so many high-profile sporting events over a number of the last 30 years. I'm talking about the Commonwealth Games, for example, the Olympics and the Melbourne Cup. But none bigger than this one. The TeamKids Easter Appeal Milk-Off right here at the Adelaide Showgrounds. Our teams are currently warming up.
Beck, you've got to get it in the bucket.
I've never milked a cow before.
And this year, we've taken it to another level with 4 of the best teams on the planet, thanks to Best On Food Group. Let's now meet all of our contestants, all of our teams, and get ready to rumble. Team 1, Telstra and Westpac, the TeamKids Easter Appeal sponsors.
I'm Chris from Telstra. We're going to move into number 1 today. We're going to win.
Peter Kudray, Westpac, and we are going to kick butt.
Team 2, our nurses from the Women's and Children's Hospital.
All that breastfeeding experience.
It's the Women's and Children's Hospital spirit.
We're here producing liquid gold because we are the winners. Yeah. Yeah.
Team 3, our SA politicians, the best in the state.
It must be the outfit.
And Team 4, our SA dairy farmers, who are going to be stiff competition.
We're the farmers and we're going to win. Nature called, so we have to stop.
And it's starting to smell right now. We didn't want any of that in our bucket.
So let's get ready to go. 3, 2, 1, go. And they're off and milking. The politicians are off to a great start, with the SA dairy farmers close behind.
Girls, secrets are girls. Well done. Come on.
Let's check out our sponsors team, Westpac and Telstra.
all over the camera.
I wonder how the SA politicians are going.
This is called bipartisanship.
The Pollies have taken the lead. There's 30 seconds to go. The nurses might need to ring 000 because they're going to need all the help they can get. 20 seconds to go.
How's your bucket going? Go.
We want this. That's it. Have we got flavour? Oh, yes. Yes. Well done. Get it coming.
Politicians never cheat.
Countdown from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it, folks. Buckets down. What a spectacular finish. What a wonderful, wonderful event. I have to congratulate the politicians. They did well until right at the end there.
4,000 millilitres!
And our wonderful sponsors, Westpac and Telstra. Thank you so much.
3,500 millilitres!
And the SA dairy farmers nearly won. And thank you for helping with this wonderful event.
2,500 millilitres, yes!
But all plaudits go to our wonderful nurses from the Women's and Children's Hospital. What a great job they do. And they are our worthy winners.
Yeah! 10,000 millilitres, the winners! Yes!
So the nurses, the midwives and the doctors from the mums and kids hospitals, we're the winners, all above board, no cheating whatsoever. And we came out on top because we're the best. A sore loser.
Our very own Tara Renee Knight has been singing since she was 7, and despite the constant setbacks of long hospital stays, today she's both a songwriter and singer, regularly appearing at gigs around Adelaide. Here she is to perform one of her favourite songs, Happy.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. The air like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Here comes bad news, talking this and that. Give me all you got and don't hold back. I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Because I'm clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Bring me down, cannot bear. Bring me down, love is too high. Bring me down, cannot bear. Bring me down, say 'cause I'm clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Bring me down, cannot there. Bring me down, love is too high. Bring me down, cannot there. Bring me down, say because I'm clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm clap along if you feel like
To support the Women's and Children's Hospital Foundation, go to the web address or call the number on the screen now.